Welcome to the Catchment-wide snapshot project. You'll have received your tiny test kit and some instructions. So before you leave your house, you'll need to create a reacher stick. We have Rebecca here modeling one that we made. You want to show them? So it's just a stick with a container that we've cleaned really well, and it's taped to the stick there. And then you want to show them the other one? And so this one we just made with some elastics, and because it has a ridge. So just making sure that your container is really clean, and this is going to help you reach the water more easily. Now it's time to go to your sample location. We have a few hints on how to get there. We'll have written your what 3 words onto your sheet, as well as your location ID, and we'll have emailed you a link so that you can easily access this. We've pre-populated the map with locations that have been tested before. However, we haven't personally gone to every single location to make sure it's a safe place to sample. So I want you to use your best judgment, make sure that it is safe to do so. If you need to move a little bit from the spot that we send you to, that is totally okay. But just make sure that you note what the new location is so that we can update it. Now you want to make sure it's a nice, stable bank that you can easily reach the water safely. You're not worried about falling in, and you'll have your reacher stick to do that. So once you find your location, you're going to enter in. There's no spot for this, but we really need you to enter in the time and date, the weather, and the qualitative assessment. There's some quite technical terms for algae. I don't think that you're going to see any algae today. I really hope you don't. But do take some photos and we'll help you identify what type of algae it is. So there's a few more questions there. You have your field sheets, but I highly recommend that you enter in your data right away onto the Water Rangers platform. You should have a link to go to that location. You need to log in to your account that you created with us, and then you can hit add observation right there. Enter in your data. I like to write it on a piece of paper first, but you might want to add it in right into the platform right away. Make sure you take some photos, not just of your location, but also some action photos of you testing the water to share with us. Once you're finished your visual assessment, you're going to get out your thermometer and you're going to check the air temperature as your first measure. Rebecca's going to demonstrate the proper technique for taking a sample. We're going to make sure that we're nice and safe on the store line here. Hold on to a person if you're a bit worried. If it's really not very steady here, make sure you find a spot that you're not worried about falling in. It's really, really important that you're super safe. So she's going to rinse the sample cup 3 times in the water that we're going to be testing. This is going to take out any of the residue that might be in the cup, but hopefully you well cleaned it before. So now she's going to take her sample. She's going to try and get about 15 centimeters below the surface. At your location though, the water might not be that deep. So we want to take it as deep as we can, about 15 centimeters, without scraping the bottom. Perfect. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, as soon as it comes out of the water, is water temperature. So we're going to put our thermometer in. What's your guess? I'm guessing it's cold. 6, 7. It's going down. So it usually takes a couple minutes to get the right temperature. 7. Correct. Excellent. Okay. So we're going to record that on our data sheet. Put this up here. Next thing we're going to do is take out our test strip container. You can see that there's a comparison chart on the back here. With dry hands, make sure your hands are dry. You don't want to get any moisture in this container. We're going to open it up, take out 1 strip. Be a bit finicky. And then we want to make sure we close the container right away, keeping it nice and dry. I'm going to dip it in for 2 seconds, and then I'm going to compare it to the back here. So 1, 2. And then I'm gonna hold it vertically here and compare. So you can see the top value there is chlorine and it's 0. We're at close to the start of the riverway, and so our pH is much lower here, which is very interesting. You'll probably get a much different reading. We're about, yeah, I think it's probably between 6.4 and 6.8. So I'm gonna take the exact center, which is 6.6. Alkalinity of 40. And hardness is between 0 and 100, so I'm going to record 50. You want to record the halfway point. There's no way for you to sort of say, well, it's 33%. Just take the halfway point. That'll make your life easier. After you're done with your strip, put it aside. Do not put it back in your container or you'll ruin the other test strips. Next up is our nutrient tests. So this, you'll see, nitrates and phosphates are in the same bag. Dry hands again. You can take out one of the ones with the blue and ones with the green. Now, we've manually put these little stickers on and they may have come off, but you'll also notice at the bottom here, it says PO4. PO4, that's phosphorus. And then NO3 is nitrogen, or nitrates in this case. So, once I have my two things out, I'm going to seal this. Again, we don't want to get any moisture in there for our other sample. Okay, so we're going to start with phosphorus. It takes 5 minutes to do the sample. And then what I usually do is after 2 minutes, I then do my nitrate test, and then I can compare both at the same time. So, that down for a second. We're going to take the little pin out. It can be slightly tricky. Put it in my little bag for now, and then you can recycle that when you get home. And then I'm going to use 2 fingers like this. You can see I'm squeezing this container quite a lot. Then I'm going to dip the top in, let go. It's going to suck up the water, kind of like a baster. So you can see I filled it just about halfway, just under halfway. So about halfway is where you want it. You should have had a practice one when you picked up your test kit. So I really encourage you to practice these tests beforehand. But really getting your 2 thumbs on there is important. Okay, so I'm going to invert it a few times. That's to sort of dissolve the reagent in there. And then set my timer. Okay, so once 2 minutes is done, I'm going to do my nitrate test. And pull the pin out. Make sure you don't leave that behind. 2 thumbs. Really squish it in the water. Release. Now, if you accidentally get some reagent in there, take another sample. So, when in doubt, do a retest. We have given you enough for 2 of each type of nutrient test and 5 test strips. So you should be able to do your tests. Okay, now we'll set our timer for 3 minutes. All right, so our time is up. It is time to compare. Get your comparison charts out. Again, we've referenced the colors, the phosphorus and the nitrates with the blue and the green. So you can see here we have our, I like to do it in the shade. I think it's a bit easier. You can see, I'm going to put it away from my thing. Our phosphorus levels here in Liphook are pretty low. I would even say that they're 0. So we record 0.00 as that result. And then for our nitrates, higher. Usually the nitrates is much pinker. I would say between 0.5 and 1. And so I would record 0.75, the exact middle. So you're going to record that on our field sheets, and then you're going to get on the website and enter it in right away. Once you're finished, it's time to pack up your test kit. You'll notice you have a sticker. You are now officially a water ranger. You're trained up, done your first test. Do not put your test strip or these things back in the containers that you had them. You can put them in your little baggie as long as you keep everything sort of separate from those things that need to stay dry. Sometimes I just put these in my pocket, but you can put them in here just as long as you make sure that this is sealed. You want to make sure that there's no moisture that gets in there. So we can dump our water back in the river. We're going to leave the place better than when we arrived. When you get home, you can squeeze these into your sink and recycle them. Same with the test strips. Take these little pads off with your finger, and then you can recycle the stick. So I hope you had a good time water testing, and we will be in touch shortly to share our results.